Imagine you lend your friend $100 because he says, "Don't worry, I'll pay you back next week." Now imagine he lends that same $100 to someone else, and that person lends it again to another friend, and so on. Now 5 people are walking around, all thinking they have $100 to spend, but there's really just one $100 bill being passed around in circles. That's kind of how the 2008 financial crisis started. Too many promises, not enough real money behind them. Back in the early 2000s, banks in the United States started giving out home loans called mortgages to almost anyone who asked. Before that, getting a home loan was difficult. Banks used to ask questions like, do you have a stable job? Can you afford monthly payments? Do you have savings? But then something changed. Banks realized that house prices kept going up and up every year. They thought, even if someone can't pay, it's fine. We can just take their house and sell it for more money. So banks stopped being careful. They started giving loans to people with no job, no income, and already drowning in other loans. They even had a nickname for them, subprime borrowers, which basically means risky people who probably can't pay back. At first, it seemed like free money for everyone. Families were buying homes they couldn't afford. People bought second houses to flip, buy low, sell high, make quick money. Construction companies were building nonstop. Everyone was smiling. It felt like a money fountain that would never stop flowing. But the banks didn't just stop there. They wanted more profit faster. So they took thousands of these home loans, mixed them all together, and sliced them into pieces. Then they sold those pieces as fancy financial products called mortgage-backed securities, MBS. Basically, bundles of home loans repackaged and sold to investors. It's like taking Eins 000 sandwiches, some fresh, some with expired meat, wrapping them in shiny foil, and selling the whole box as premium sandwiches. Everyone saw the shiny foil and thought, wow, safe investment. Big banks, insurance companies, and even governments from Europe started buying these boxes, believing they were filled with good stuff. But here's the problem. Inside those safe boxes were a lot of rotten loans. Many people were never going to pay back their mortgages. So these investments were only safe as long as everyone kept paying. It was a ticking time bomb covered in whipped cream. Then one day, the music stopped. People started losing their jobs. House prices stopped going up. Suddenly, the people who had borrowed money realized they couldn't keep paying. They stopped paying their home loans. Banks tried to sell their houses, but nobody wanted to buy because prices were falling. The houses kept losing value. And the investors who had bought all those safe boxes of loans suddenly discovered that their boxes were filled with garbage. It spread like a chain reaction. Banks didn't trust each other anymore. They stopped lending money, not just to people, but even to other banks. Imagine if every store suddenly stopped accepting credit cards. That's what it felt like for the financial world. Businesses couldn't borrow money to pay workers. Companies started laying people off. People lost jobs. When people lost jobs, they couldn't pay their mortgages. When they couldn't pay their mortgages, more houses got foreclosed. When more houses got foreclosed, prices fell even more. It was a spiral, down, down, down. The economy froze. Big, famous banks, the kind everyone thought were untouchable, started collapsing. Lehman Brothers, a bank that had existed for over 150 years, went bankrupt in a single week. Insurance giant AIG lost so much money that the US government had to step in and rescue it with over $180 billion in taxpayer money. Governments around the world, from the US to the UK to Germany, had to pour trillions of dollars into their economies just to stop the system from completely breaking. For ordinary people, it was devastating. Millions lost their homes. People's savings vanished. Retirement plan shrank. Families who had worked their whole lives suddenly had nothing. It was the biggest financial disaster since the Great Depression of the 1,930 seconds. So, if you had to explain the 2008 financial crisis in one sentence, it would be this. Everyone borrowed too much. Everyone thought prices would rise forever, and when they didn't, the whole system fell apart. Banks got greedy. People borrowed too much. Investors didn't check what they were buying. And when one small part cracked, it was like dominoes falling across the world. It's like building a tall tower of Jenga blocks made entirely out of borrowed money. It looks strong. It looks perfect. But take one block out, and the whole tower collapses in seconds. That's what the 2008 financial crisis really was. A global reminder that you can't build a solid world economy on loans, lies, and wishful thinking. Because when everyone thinks they're rich, but no one actually has real money, it's only a matter of time before the bubble bursts.